Do. Are we live now? I see the red light. Okay, hi everybody. We're on Facebook Live. It's Pipo. I always say it wrong. Hold on a second. I got to hit the right microphone first. How about that? I had the wrong mic on. How about no? Which one are we going with?
Yeah, Pipo.
Pipo.
Yeah, perfect.
Pipo Derani, the man that we call Mr. Sebring. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
3 out of 4.
Yeah, it was amazing. To be honest, I'm still speechless about it.
If you didn't watch the race, it was just fantastic. I mean, some of the best racing there. And, of course, you're in town with the Detroit Grand Prix, DetroitGP.com. We got our free pre-day announcement came out today, and then you're going to Cast Tech around, what was it, 1? 1 o'clock, you're going to be down there?
Yeah.
I love the fact that you guys, and especially IMSA, you guys are fantastic with doing this. You take the time to talk to all the engineering. Engineering is such a part of Detroit. I mean, you think about it, what we're all about. And these students, when they see what you've done, and how technology and STEM that we talk about applies to racing. Do you really understand how much you motivate these kids when you come in?
Look,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic what Comerica Bank is doing for providing the opportunity for these students to come and people to come and be involved in this amazing sport. You know, it's a sport that it's difficult, the access normally, and having the opportunity to bring them close to the cars and see the technology involved and how these cars are built, and it's just a fantastic opportunity. And not only that, it's a fantastic sport as well. So you get to put the two together and enjoy a fantastic weekend.
Where was the burger last night? Where'd you eat last night?
At the Foundation Hotel.
Nice.
Yeah, that was good.
Very nice.
That was very good.
That's where we ran into Jeremy Clarkson was staying there when they filmed the Grand Tour.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I stayed there last year when I was racing here, and I went there I remember the food was amazing. So
isn't it crazy how cool Detroit's become? Like we're all a bunch of foodies now, and our hotels are actually like catching up with everything.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. It's a great city. I'm happy to be here now this year in driving a Cadillac, which is hometown for General Motors and Cadillac. So it's fantastic. Can't wait to be back here for the race.
30th anniversary of racing here in the Motor City. 30th anniversary of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's incredible. A lot of history.
I was talking with a friend of mine about Senna, and I think it was 88 when he raced here and won. And that was like the last year before they had all the turbo change and stuff like that. He had everybody covered in qualifying by 8/10 of a second. That's insane.
It's fantastic. Yeah, he was a hero. Still is.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're Brazilian, and you and I talked about before. How many times have you watched the movie Senna?
Between 2 or 3.
Right.
But I could go, I could watch it every day because it's a really well-produced movie.
That was my favorite Christmas present. My wife got me a Banco Nacional hat with the Senna on the side of it.
Nice.
And it sits up on the shelf downstairs. I don't, you guys, you as a driver, you have such passion, and we saw it after Sebring. The video of you guys and Felipe, you two tackled each other. You were so excited for him in that final stint. 2 questions. Number 1, does it suck not being the driver at the end of the race? I know Felipe's amazing. You guys were all amazing, but still, didn't you want to be behind the wheel at the end of it?
Look, I was the one on my previous 2 wins to finish the race, so it was definitely something different for me to watch the race from the outside. But this was a different story this year. I had to start the race under heavy rain, and I stayed in the car for almost 3 hours. So the whole thing that was planned in the beginning just completely changed. So when that happens, at the end, I was expecting to be in the car all the way to the end with 2 hours and 40 minutes to go. But the team decided to give me a couple stints and then the last 2 stints to Felipe right at the end. So I think that was fantastic, to be honest. I was already exhausted. I think I drove around 5.5 or 6 hours of the entire race. So at the time that the team told me Felipe was going to finish, I think it was great because not only I have a teammate who can do the job and can get the job done, but I have a fantastic and fast teammate as well that can handle the pressure whenever it needs to. So for me, it was just really good that he was there to cover for me at the end.
Well, and the exciting thing is, were you talking him through it with Jordan on his tail? Do you talk to your fellow driver when you're watching the race? You're like, don't go wide, stay in your line, stay here. I mean, because everything was just seamless the way he was rolling through it.
Well, I had been holding Jordan a little bit before I handled the car to Felipe, and I think I haven't spoken to him once he got in the car. It was all about him and team, our engineer, but he knows what to do. I don't need to say to him anything. He comes from Formula One and he's won the championship last year, and same with me. I won Sebring the year before as well. So he knows what he's doing, and I think it was a fantastic combination by the team to put the two of us together. We're from Brazil, a lot of history coming from our country in motorsport, and yeah, fantastic opportunity to be sharing the car with him.
It's going to be fun here in Detroit too. You guys, obviously, it's like a sprint race. It's kind of like you guys get out there, and it really feels like when we're watching the Detroit Grand Prix with the IMSA stuff, the prototypes. You guys just get after it from the very beginning, but you don't have a choice. You got to.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on the short races, it's very important. For example, here at Belle Isle to qualify well. Last year I was on pole, but the race didn't go quite as planned. We had a little steering wheel issue in the beginning that put us on the back foot there. But yeah, Cadillac won. So the exact team that I'm driving for now won this race last year, and I can't wait to be back here. Hopefully, repeat the pole position and the race win.
I remember, and the guys that are here from the Detroit Grand Prix know I talk about this all the time. I'm really interested. I don't think people understand the transition between turns 1 and 2. When you're watching the race in Belle Isle, Will Power, I think, it was Will that told us that his belt actually broke during one of the sessions a couple of years ago. The lateral G's that you're pulling, it's got to be hard on you, even in a shorter race like that, relative to Sebring or Daytona. I mean, right? I mean, you feel it going through there.
No, absolutely. I think it's a fantastic track, very narrow and bumpy, so makes it for even more interesting race. We're on a series that has different classes, so not only that, you have to overtake the slowest cars, and I think it's a track that brings a lot into the show, and it's gonna be fantastic to watch. Us as a driver is also phenomenal to be in there. Last year, the pole lap was very nice, and very happy to have been the one to be driving at that condition, because normally in qualifying you feel the G's, you feel the maximum that the car can give. So yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to be back here. Like I said, it's a bumpy track, and probably that's the reason why Will Power had his belt issue, but we can't have that happening in our race. It's a short race, but at the same time, if that happens, the race is over.
So growing up in karts like you did, do you think like it plays well to road courses? Because karts by their nature, you're on a bumpy track. You and I were talking about it before. When you're braking, when I see the cars bunny hop like they were doing at Sebring and stuff, and even in Detroit when you guys are braking, there's no contact to the ground. And how you guys keep the car in control, does that go back to kart racing, that sort of skill set?
Well, first of all, I think karting is always a great school for any driver. You see some drivers come a little bit later into motorsport, and they cut through all the way to cars already, and I think they feel it later in their careers that they miss something with that would bring them a lot of experience. So in my case, I was lucky enough to be in go-kart since I was 7, so I learned a lot from it, and definitely transferred that to my career right now. But like you said, these cars are traveling over 150 miles an hour down the straight, and then you have to brake. So with a lot of bump and pushing the car off the ground. But these cars, they're so well designed. They have so much downforce that whenever you brake in such a high speed situation, you just generate so much downforce that pushes the car all the way back to the ground. So yeah, it's a fantastic car to drive. It's hard to describe for someone who hasn't driven one, but I think you can see it from the outside how special these cars are.
When I'm watching Sebring, and we're the same thing here in Detroit, when we're watching, though, the difference between the classes, what kind of speed are we talking about? Because this year, wasn't there something like some of the classes were getting really clumped together where they were a little bit closer in speed than maybe they'd been in the past?
Yeah, I think, technology has been evolved, and for the slower cars, I think tires has been a great thing as well. This year, Michelin has been involved in the championship with all the classes, and I think that brings a great value to the championship and to all the other classes involved. So some corners you will see the GTs are as quick as the prototype, because normally they have more mechanical grip. They're heavier cars, and their suspensions go over the bumps easier than the prototype. And we're just so much quicker on high-speed tracks. So yeah, you've seen the classes really close together, which is harder for us to overtake, and it makes it for an even more interesting race because we are looking always for a gap uh, to gap the car behind from our same class, but we try to use the GTs and this lower class to make that happen. So yeah, when it's so close together like this, it's even harder.
Does that change how you drive Belle Isle then? Because maybe there were passing points in the past that now you're like, that door may be shut because these guys do have more grip coming through some of these turns.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we're only going to be able to say it exactly after driving the first free practice because it's something that you understand while you're driving. So we'll see how much quicker the GTs have been this year, and hopefully we can find our way around.
So, what did you think about the no track limits at Coda?
Well, I think it's a difficult situation because you have obviously the track limits for a reason, and I think that's safety. But at the same time, it can be very difficult for you to judge how many times a driver has gone over the track limit. So I think having the decision to let at least in one or another corner drivers go wider over the track limit can be okay if they go over the safety aspect first, and I'm pretty sure IndyCar did that before allowing it. So you definitely go quicker if you go over the track limit. You make your corner wider and you can carry more speed in. So yeah, I think it's a difficult topic to comment. I think the race itself, all in all, was okay. So yeah, positive for IndyCar to go back to Coda.
Racing, there was this whole thing about, and I wanted to talk about this because IMSA and everyone talks about open wheel racing, and they were comparing IndyCar and F1, and I'm like, why can't we just enjoy the racing for what it is? When I go to Belle Isle and I watch the Detroit Grand Prix, I love watching you guys race. The prototypes, the speed you carry through there, all the GTMs and all the different series. Is it just something we seem to be, maybe because we're all so angry, it feels like on social media, everybody wants to complain about stuff that like, why can't we just enjoy racing for that series? I mean, I can watch Mercedes-Benz in Germany and not be upset because it's not IMSA. You know what I mean? I can appreciate both.
Yeah, no, I understand the point, but I also understand the fact that IndyCar and Formula One have been in the past big rivals in terms of exchanging drivers from one side to the other, and I think I don't take it that to the to that side of things. I think it's in a way it's nice to compare. In other hand, obviously you have to enjoy what you have here. They're nowadays completely different products. Formula One has gone through a way and IndyCar has gone another way, but that doesn't mean that racing is less exciting. If you watch an IndyCar race, you're gonna probably have more fun nowadays than watching a Formula One race. So lap times in the end they really don't matter. I think comparison comes more because these two categories have been head to head in the past as the top motorsport categories in the world. But I think it comes as a positive only. And if you look at how good the races are, I think that's the best that you can take out of it.
Well, if you're looking for a video game series, like something, like Forza, it's IMSA. Think about it. I mean, like when you're out there in the prototypes and you look and there's Lambos and Porsches and Ferraris and Caddies and Beamers and all this. It is like, it's like being as a fan watching it. I'm telling you, people, when I'm watching, I'm like, damn, this is just beautiful to watch. You obviously are kind of busy at the time, so you really can't look at the cars that way. But do you get a perspective of just how big the sport is and how crazy the spread of cars?
No, absolutely. I think IMSA has done a fantastic job in creating what the championship is today. Like you said, there are many brands involved, many manufacturers, and I think for the sport that's fantastic to have the support of a company like General Motors, Cadillac, and to be driving one of their cars. It's an amazing feeling for a driver, and yeah, sometimes I get to look on YouTube, on social media, what is that I do, and this championship, to be part of this championship, it's amazing. So really glad that all these manufacturers support our championship, and I'm really glad to be part of it too.
So when you win on Belle Isle, Jim Campbell's going to get you a car, right?
I surely hope so.
I think that's kind of a given, isn't it? I mean, when you win, yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. You want me to bring that up to him?
Yeah, you should.
No, you're the driver. I have no pull. I'm a DJ. You're the guy, Pipo. You'll be the one telling him, man. No, you should. So what would you rather have? I know you're a Cadillac guy. If you could have any car, would you want the mid-engine Corvette, the rumored?
That looks like it's gonna be a hot topic coming in soon. Haven't heard much yet about the car, but I would definitely have the new XT6. I think it's an amazing SUV, and I can fit all my bicycles on the back, and I can drive around United States and packed with my stuff. So that would be really nice car to have.
Okay, we'll put it. Mark Royce, Mark, come on, Mark, you can do this. You know, they're driving the mid-engine Corvette around here, around by the radio station. They've been testing it every once in a while. We can't get a picture of the damn thing, but anyway, it's such an honor having you in here. You are a wonderful driver. What you guys did at Sebring, I can tell you as a fan watching it, that was some of the most compelling racing. The changes in weather, the strategy going on. I still don't know how you guys know the racing line half the time because I'm watching on TV. I'm like, where the hell are they going? But Sebring was fantastic, and Detroit's going to be great. 1 o'clock today at Cast Tech.
Exactly.
Don't forget Comerica Bank. The free pre-day is underway. DetroitGP.com. Get your tickets. We will be out there, man. It's an honor. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Bye, guys.